million US dollars.
Okay, yeah, it's a lot of money.
That was about 55,000 vehicles for private use.
Okay.
And about 150,000 motorcycles.
Okay.
In 1996, that figure was about 115 million. So it has more than 6x.
Okay. Yes.
Since that time.
Yeah.
And continuing to grow exponentially.
Yeah.
And this is money we are sending out. When you buy a car from, say, Japan,
yeah,
what you're doing is you're employing someone in Japan.
In Japan.
You're directly employing someone in Japan.
Taking the foreign exchange.
The money goes and pays those people
to
make the vehicle.
Yeah.
And it comes here fully built. Now, these vehicles are about 16 years of age average on first-time registration.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. When we put in the 15-year ban of vehicles, it helped to bring down that number.
Okay.
But in about 2015, it was the average age.
Okay.
Now, these vehicles are polluting. You know, the thing about transport-based carbon emissions, on top of the long-term effect of climate change, there is an immediate effect of air quality.
The air quality.
That one is immediate. Yeah. It doesn't delay.
Yes,
you know?
Exactly.
Kampala is the 5th most polluted city in Africa.
Yeah. 5th most polluted.
Yes. And among the top 15 in the world.
Okay.
And it's because of the vehicles we have on the road. That is the biggest contributor. About 10% of Africa's greenhouse gas emissions come from vehicles.
Okay.
And 60% of that is from transporting people. 40% is transporting goods.
Okay.
So it was important that then we see how do we address the fundamental problem of sustainable mobility solutions for Africa.
So it's more like the core.
Yes. That is the essence of what we are doing.
Okay.
About Uganda's motorization rate, which is vehicles per 1,000 people, is 14 vehicles.
Okay.
The vehicles are only concentrated in Kampala. As you go out, you barely see.
Private.
Yeah, they're barely there. So people are relying heavily on public transport.
Absolutely true, yeah.
And in the city, the reason why there are so many cars is because the public transport system is not very efficient.
Okay.
So
it's not streamlined.
Yeah, it's not streamlined and it's not efficient. So I am better off if I am able to afford a car to buy it, because I will be able to go where I'm going whenever I feel like I'm going to go and reach on the time that I can predict. So the direction for the country to not only pursue vehicle manufacturing, but fundamentally to pursue production of mass mobility solutions. Was address the issue of the muntu wa bulijjo who can't afford a car and who's relying on public transport, so they can be transported efficiently and effectively while conserving our environment and ensuring air quality is
not intact.
Yes. So that is on the social side. But on the economic side, we're looking at how do we reverse this equation of the 795 billion US dollars going out and about $2 billion US dollars going out to buy fuel to run the same vehicles. How would we reverse that equation? The fuel side we are already addressing. We are already invested in that side. So government invested in establishing production facilities here with our indigenous technology and our indigenous people to address the mobility needs of Uganda and the region, and to be the hub for automotive manufacturing
in Africa.
So that is the strategic importance of what we are doing.
Wow, very amazing. Now, of course, placing you at that hub now brings me to a very something which I believe the viewers would love to listen, most especially in areas of technological advancement, to see that, whereby it is described to be the most capable bus manufacturing plant in Africa, just like you've mentioned.
Yes.
Could you elaborate on the specific technological innovations that make this facility stand out in this region?
Yes. So the facility that we are talking about, first of all, Kiira Motors is the company behind what we're discussing.
You're discussing, exactly.
And Kiira Motors is fully government-owned.
Exactly.
Fully government-owned.
Yeah.
96% government of Uganda represented by the Minister for Science.
95%?
96%.
96%.
And 4% by Makerere University, which is a public university.
So literally it's entirely government.
It's entirely government.
Exactly.
So this is, everyone out there, this is your investment.
Okay.
This is your investment.
Yeah.
Now, the facility we have set up is the most capable and most advanced
in Africa
bus plant in Eastern Central Africa. There is none that beats it.
I love the confidence and the authority.
Oh yeah.
You speak with this.
Oh yeah. It is the most capable plant and most advanced we have in Eastern Central Africa to produce buses. So we have set up various capabilities within this facility.
Okay.
With which could facilitate industrialization in even many other areas.
Okay.
So in the typical production of buses, you know, you're starting with the first part you make is the frame of the bus. That's part number one.
The frame.
The frame.
Okay, yeah.
It's the first part.
So we build it here
produce.
also.
Yes. So we have set up what we call a body shop.
Okay.
Which has capabilities to fabricate this frame from scratch.
From scratch.
So the materials you're dealing with are pipes.
Okay.
Of various shapes and sizes that then you get to cut, to shear, to bend,
okay,
to weld,
yeah,
and you form the 6 fundamental parts of the bus: the front, the rear, the sides, the top, and the bottom. Yeah. So that's what people typically call the chassis.
Yeah.
But for the kind of approach we're taking, we're doing a frame, and the reason is a frame is more, in terms of our unique road conditions and loading.
Exactly. Yeah.
It is safer. It is able to absorb all these shocks and create a bit more safety on the road.
You know, when you mentioned about all that, in most cases when they talk about manufacturing in Uganda, what we have in mind is assembling. And the viewers would really would find a lot of interest to see that we are building all these materials from scratch. We haven't considered partnership with other manufacturing, you know, other partners, because now today, how the world is that, for example, if Japan is manufacturing vehicles, the lights perhaps from somewhere else, the interiors, think about all that. So how are we going to? Are we able to put all that? Are we trying to tell the world that we can actually break this chain and be self-sustaining, and we can have everything available or developed by the teams on ground?
So the essence of, if you look at a vehicle, what creates its structural integrity is very critical.
The structural integrity?
Yes, it's very critical, because it can make or break the company.
True.
If you have not done a good job on what is keeping the vehicle intact, then the high chances are that you will not survive. So just, maybe for those out there, just imagine you're building a house.
Exactly, yeah.
You will design your house the way you want it, right? That's your intellectual property, if you could claim. Now you get someone who's competent to come on ground and literally construct the house.
Construct the house. Yeah.
They're not going to go and bring a wall from out and place it. They're literally going to construct the house, the frame of the house.
The house, exactly.
Now they might go and get, they might go and get glass from somewhere else. They might go and get the frames from somewhere else, the wires from somewhere else, the lights. But the essence of the house has been literally constructed from there. You get what I'm saying?
I get it very well. Yeah.
So even when we look at all these vehicle manufacturers, the body of the vehicle is made by company, because that is the DNA of the vehicle.
It's the face of the company. It's like the face.
I might not call it the face. It's like the skeleton. It's like what is keeping
the skeleton.
The vehicle. Yeah. The rest is just additive. For appeal, for and other things. But the essence of what
makes
forms
the vehicle.
Yeah. So the body shop's responsibility is to do that.
Okay.
So once you're done with the frame, you now do the body panels. Because now the frame inside, no one sees it.
No one, absolutely.
Yeah, but the frame, the body is what people will see. And it's what now is the identity of the product.
Okay.
So now that body we also do. So we'll get sheet metal, which is rolls. You've seen these rolls that come on trucks. Yeah. One roll a truck. So we'll get those and unwind. Then we'll do the cutting, the bending to form whatever form we have on the roof, the sides, the front, and the rear. For example, carbon fiber in some areas, we're using carbon fiber. So once that is done, now you have a skeleton which is formed from the bus. Now that then moves to be painted.
Interesting.
So now it moves to the paint shop. So in the paint shop, you have very many steps, over 20 steps. where you prepare. You see, when you take your car for painting in some of these garages,
yeah.
once you drive out, sometimes even like a small scratch and the paint
Of
goes
course,
off.
it will go off. Yeah.
But now when you're doing painting for manufacturing, when you're doing vehicle manufacturing,
Yeah.
you have to do it in such a way that even a scratch, you've seen these brand new cars.
Where
Even
a scratch does not
the paint
affect.
does not go off.
Okay. Yeah.
So the preparation you take in terms of surface treatment, in terms of cleaning, the undercoat, all those layers of paint that go on,
Yeah.
the baking. So every step you bake,
You
every
bake,
step you
yeah.
bake. So it goes through all that process, and through all this, you're doing quality assurance and ensuring that every step is being done properly.
Okay.
Then you do your decorative paint. Now, if Smart 24 has ordered for a bus and they want to put their logo,
Put their logo, yes.
So you also do that decorative paint at the last stage.
Wow.
Then from there, you now go on to what we call the chassis line. So now you start installing chassis systems.
Okay,
Now that's where the assembly starts, if you could call it that. So
Amazing.
now that's where the partners come in. So you're doing tires. So someone will supply you tires,
Okay.
the axles,
The interiors.
then you're doing the pneumatic system, the brakes.
Wow.
And then you go through the proper assembly line on the final assembly trim shop, where now you're putting in the lights, you're putting in the glasses, until the vehicle comes out. When it is ready, it's drivable, and you take it for quality inspection and testing.
Inspection.
Now we have a very comprehensive, state-of-the-art quality inspection testing facility.
Okay.
The only one of its kind, I could arguably say, on the continent.
On the continent.
So you're doing very many dynamic tests. There are those which you do when the vehicle is stationary, those you do when the vehicle is in motion.
It's in motion, yeah.
So you're doing things to do with the alignment of headlamps, make sure that the beams are well aligned.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when it's not facing upward, when it's facing east. Then you're doing, in terms of the sleep tests, to see if a vehicle, if it is to sleep.
Like if it takes long without being function,
No,
sleep.
it's on the road and then it slides.
It slides.
It's a slide test.
Yeah. Okay, slide
You're
test.
seeing the impact of that. You're doing noise tests as well.
Okay.
So you're seeing how so you can calibrate well and reduce the noise in the cabin and outside. You know, you're doing calibration of the speedometer.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're seeing 50 kilometers per hour. It's actually 50 kilometers per hour. You know, you're then doing alignment and balancing. Then you have a 1.1 kilometer test track, which mimics very many conditions of our roads. So you drive the bus there on Belgium blocks, on inclinations, in sand pits, to see how it handles, so that you can fine tune it. By the time it leaves, it is capable.
It's entirely to go through all conditions.
Yes. Then we have a rain test facility. So the bus gets in, and you mimic a very heavy, typical.
It's artificial.
Downpour of water, of rain.
It's artificial. Okay.
So you're spraying the water from every
angle. Yeah.
Consistently, and the reason why you're doing that is to ensure that it is waterproof.
Waterproof.
You've seen some of these buses. You get in and it starts raining,
and
you need an umbrella inside the car. Inside the bus. So you get in there, and so all these are to ensure that by the time the bus gets in the hands of the client, it is fit for purpose. It is perfect. If there's any issue, it can be rectified right there at the quality inspection testing, but also give warranty. So that over the 100,000 kilometers, you're able to, if anything emerges, it can be addressed. So those are the capabilities we have set up. Now you can see that across the entire, from the body shop all the way to quality inspection and testing, there are so many opportunities for plugging in. So looking at the 14,000 jobs directly and indirectly, there are those which are on the line, about 2,000, but the 12,000 are people who are supplying you brake pads.
Okay.
You know, people who are supplying you with steel. People who are doing the seats. You know, so all this is capability that creates opportunity.
You know, when you mention all this, you know, and I remember what you said. Like something that is outstanding on the continent, and you've explained all this, you know, the steps, the technological, the technology embedded in these vehicles, and what you're doing to make sure that they're actually entirely full capabilities. So how do we see, since we believe that Kiira Motors is outstanding on the continent, how are we ensuring that actually the world gets to know that there is a Kiira Motors out there in Africa, whereby now we are talking about production for continental use,
Yes.
just leaving Uganda.
Yes.
And how are we looking to explore those markets? Because I believe there are people that are these countries already have contracted other companies which give. How are we seeing that we also get to tap into that income?
Yeah, so I think what you're looking into is the market systems development.
The market systems development,
Yes.
yeah.
So the plant that we have set up has the capacity to produce 2,500 buses per year.
2,500.
And we'll be ramping this up to its full capacity of 5,000 per year. And indeed, for you to be at full capacity and producing those vehicles per year, you're not going to only serve Uganda.
Serve Uganda, absolutely.
You'll run out of,
exactly.
in the first 2 years, if you have full capacity, because Kampala alone is about 7,000 buses. And that's
7,000 for every person to...
For it to be, for the mobility needs, at least for now, to be well addressed. So the region becomes critical. And one thing I appreciate about the founder of Honor, His Excellency, is the biggest champion of what we are doing.
What you're doing. Yeah.
He actually envisioned this way before the Makere project started.
Okay.
When it started, he just saw something aligning to what he had already. And he has been our biggest marketeer.
Yeah, he's been vocal about
yes, it's been our biggest marketeer.
Very true. Yeah.
At the completed NAM conference, actually in his closing, because he was the chair, he actually created room to showcase what we are doing. And severally also invites several heads of state who are visiting to come and see the capabilities. And we'll see how we can create and tap into these markets.
Okay.
That's why you start appreciating some of these trade blocks and like the ESC, South African Community, the African Continental Free Trade Area.
Exactly.
Because then there are things that we are able to do and to tap into and to access as a result of this work that has been done by the governments.
Okay.
So we are actively ensuring that, because there's a side of the brand development, but the products as well need to be capable. So when you see from the time in 2019, 2020, when we had the first Kayola EVS go on the road, and we worked closely with Uganda Civil Aviation Authority to give them a shuttle service and to have a product on the road, demonstrate and do, ensure that we have confidence, market confidence of our products. And that gave us mileage.
Okay.
Right now, products have done over 600,000 kilometers.
600,000
Yes.
kilometers.
Yes, 600,000 kilometers. And these are both electric and the diesel buses. I've done about 39 buses on the road currently in the hands of clients.
Okay. Yeah.
And 27 of these are electric. So the market confidence was very critical. And
the market confidence.
Yes, creating that confidence that the products actually fit.
Yeah.
It's not just words. It has to be demonstrated.
Demonstrated, yes.
And the clients can attest to that. We have done over 700,000 kilometers without any recall. Now, the thing now is, how do we tap into the markets beyond Uganda? A few months ago, our minister, the Honorable Dr. Monica Musenero, led us to Tanzania.
Okay.
During the Uganda-Tanzania Business Forum, where we interacted also with the Prime Minister of Tanzania, because they need buses there as well.
They do, because
So some of these efforts are very intentional, and we have already seen interest from Botswana, South Africa, from Tanzania.
This is big.
Yeah, quite a lot of interest to see how we can get buses to these markets.
Now, this brings me to something also very critical. In most cases, we've seen the past projects where government has actually been involved, but of course, due to some hindrances and challenges that come along, some of them didn't really get to the expectations due to some reasons. They could be in governance or also in line with the technicality, the technical aspect. Now, how are we ensuring that because according to what you're mentioning, the market confidence that you have, I think I'm looking at it from the line of how do we create this as a brand for the country Uganda, and whereby if you mention Uganda, people know automobiles, So how are we ensuring that continuity in terms of capacity building? I've seen there's a company called Huawei that has actually academies where it trains people from maybe you've left university and actually some go through those academies and they're actually capable to fully serve the goals of the company. So as Kiira Motors, how are we looking into that? Because I see it would be very absurd when as years go along, perhaps there is a detection of a few errors here and there. So how are we ensuring that that doesn't happen and we continue to have, to be the outstanding region, I mean the outstanding plant on the African region in terms of capacity building?
Yeah, that is very critical because as we pursue this industrialization agenda, it needs to be sustainable.
Yeah.
Now, there are 5 things we are doing, or 5 areas we are ensuring we are holistically developing.
Yes.
So the first is the people.
The people,
yes.
the human.
Yes, the human capital.
Capital, yeah.
And this we're developing along the entire value chain.
Okay.
So looking right from production, we now need to build skills for people who can work in factories.
Factories, okay.
So at Science and Technology, we have set up the Engineering Development and Incubation Center in Brevitete, which is mimicking a factory model. So that the engineers, after they have finished their 4 years, and can be equipped to be able to add value in factory.
In factory. Amazing.
Engineers and technicians.
Yeah.
But also on the other side is on the end use. So as Kiira Motors, we have supported over 140 drivers.
140?
To be made, yes, to be skilled, free of charge, funded by government.
Okay.
To be fully skilled in operating electric buses.
Okay.
And charging infrastructure. So we're dealing with it from both the production side and the use side.
The use side.
Previously it has been mainly on the use side.
Okay.
Training mechanics, or people who are just keeping the product. But you need also people who are producing. So that's on the people side. Then the second thing is on the products. We're ensuring that we're developing state-of-the-art products that are market fit for meeting our problems and our situation in Africa. That's why we have the likes of the buses. Again, as government, we're ensuring we're supporting private sector also on the 2-wheelers, the motorcycles. Then the third is the plants. So how do we ensure that we develop capabilities beyond even the buses? The buses. So now we have to have more facilities to ensure that we can keep growing this market forward, and also on the side of parts manufacturing. Then the fourth is policy.
Policy.
How do we have a conducive policy environment to ensure we attract investment, ensure that the companies that come here thrive, and ensure that the market is conducive. And that one I've also had a number of things I've put in place, which I can get into later. And then lastly is the mobility infrastructure. How do we ensure that we facilitate these vehicles? So we're dealing with charging infrastructure, for example, for the electric buses. Yeah. So that is the holistic approach we're taking. To ensure that at the end of it all, we're not just putting effort in one area, and the other areas are lacking, and as a result, things fail.
Things fail. Well, very interesting. Exactly at this point, we are discussing Uganda's milestone in terms of the automobile industry, as Kiira Motors is setting itself to be the hub within the region, for these new innovations. Well, I'm with Alan Muhumuze, the team leader, that is Mobility Bureau at the Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat under the Office of the President. Well, let's take a break for now. Of course, I'll be returning as we wind this discussion up. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business.
Uganda fire! Ediba fire! Our border fire!
Uganda! Thank you for showing your fire! As Uganda Crane showed Congo, why nobody is called a Katiro? Mayuwa wa mubiri gabulicho! Katika Uganda Great Section South Sudan on the 11th of October. Bring more fire and support even harder Nambole. Dial star 165 star 20 hash or go to buy ticket on the Momo app to get your discounted ordinary ticket at 20k on Momo. And it comes with a free train ride to Nambole. Cash is 25k. Game starts at 7 p.m. The first 2 nail special beers go for 1k each when you buy with Momo at MTN Gavut Day. Uganda Queens Fire! MTN Fire! Proudly brought to you by MTN, the #1 supporter of Uganda's football. Together, truly unstoppable.
Cooking oil like no other makes your meal so sweet and scrumptious. The taste of Uganda. Yeah, aomya. The taste of Uganda. Aomya. The taste of Uganda. Yeah, aomya.
3 inspired souls brought together by love are set on a life-changing journey.
This is your life, Mackenzie. This is no longer a dream.
It's just something about Mackenzie.
I'll never marry you.
Your position does not allow you to break work relationship rules.
Where choices change everything. Crossroads, weekdays at 8 p.m. on Pal Magic Prime. DSTV channel 148, GoTV channel 303.
Are you a woman entrepreneur or a woman owning a business and looking for affordable financing to scale up your business? Look no further than the Grow Loan. Grow Loan targets female entrepreneurs nationwide. Key features include a minimum loan amount of 4 million and a maximum loan amount of 200 million shillings, a maximum interest rate not exceeding 10.5% per annum, a loan repayment period not exceeding 24 months. All Grow Loan borrowers must comply with the Grow Project environmental and social standards. Special incentives are available for borrowers that are refugees or from the refugee host communities, people living with disabilities, and women entrepreneurs from the underserved or minority groups. To apply, contact any of the 6 participating financial institutions. Contact us for more information or visit our website at www.grow.go.ug. The Grow Loan is an intervention under the Grow Project, a Government of Uganda project financed by the World Bank and implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and the Private Sector Foundation Uganda. Grow, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
Smart 24, driving business. Smart 24, driving business.
We'll be back from the break. This is Smart Means Business. I'm Andrew Barije with my guest this morning, Alan Muhumuza. We are breaking down, of course, as Uganda is yet to, celebrate one of the significant milestones of in its industrial landscape. Now, of course, before we went into the break, we were discussing the aspect of capacity building. Now, before we get into line with policy, I wanted us to take a look at local sourcing, seeing how the local players are actually going to benefit by the existence of the Kiira Motors in terms of outsourcing raw materials and so many more. How are we ensuring that that is also a success? To see that in this year when it became official, when it was commissioned, the lives of people in Uganda changed. Not only on the social side, but also we, as Andrew, I'm on air, but away from here, what can I do that actually Kiira Motors might need me to, such that I can give, I get business.
Yes.
In that line.
Yeah, the most important thing is how this should be directly adding value to people in terms of their pockets.
Exactly.
Yeah, it shouldn't just be vehicles on the road and that's it.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, because government is pursuing what we're calling the qualitative leap of the economy.
Yeah.
Seeing how we grow this economy tenfold. By 2040. At least $750 billion economy by 2040. And this is one of the priority areas that government has.
To make that a reality.
Yes, to make that happen.
Okay.
So the target is that the vehicles made in Uganda should be at least 65% local content.
65% local content?
Yes.
In terms of the materials?
In terms of the value of the materials.
The value of the materials. Okay.
Yeah, because the thing is that you could say 65% in terms of the quantity, but it's low value products that you might be.
Absolutely right. That's very important.
Yeah, so it's in terms of value.
Value, yeah.
And for the electric vehicles, the most expensive component is the battery, which in some cases could even go up to 60% of the value of the product, depending on how big and how the range you're looking at.
Yeah.
So the target is how do we raise it from currently about 18, or depending, because for the buses about 18, but for the motorcycles it could be in excess about 30%. How do we increase this to 65% in the medium term? We already have people who are doing tires.
Already?
Oh yeah.
Local people?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes, people are doing tires. They're doing tires for motorcycles and trucks. People are doing brake pads.
Brake pads?
Yes.
Okay.
Especially for the passenger vehicles.
Yeah.
People are doing filters, oil and air filters.
Okay.
For trucks, for buses, and also for passenger vehicles. You have people doing paints.
Paints.
Yeah, the plascons and this one.
Interesting.
Yeah, you have people doing wiring harnesses, called cable compression. You have people doing auxiliary batteries.
Auxiliary?
Yes, the ones that you use to start your car.
Oh,
yes.
The terms are same.
those are auxiliary batteries.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
But now the batteries that the electric vehicles use are a bit different.
Okay.
Yeah. But you have people who are actually doing local assembly of even these deep cycle lithium-ion batteries, especially for motorcycles, electric motorcycles, and energy storage systems.
Okay.
So there's actually work happening. There are people doing really amazing things to fit into the industry.
Okay.
Now the thing is, how do we deepen it? How do we increase it?
Increase it.
Yeah. And how do we ensure that, because most of these are serving the aftermarkets, the after-sales market.
Yeah.
How do we ensure that they can also serve production? Yeah.
Okay.
Because the quality levels are also a bit different. If you're doing a vehicle where you're saying, I'm warranting that this vehicle will work for such a period of time without any issue, the quality that you're putting in matters. Yeah, so government is intentionally not only investing, but also supporting private sector in these areas. We are in the process of establishing an automotive industry and technology park.
Okay.
On 2 square miles of land.
Okay.
And the essence of this park is to create a zone or an area where these things can happen. Because normally when you're together as well, there are things that could be unlocked easily.
Yeah.
So we catalyze local production of parts.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the hub of this will actually be another plant. We are going to set up another. This is not the first. This is not the last one we are setting up.
Okay.
This is the first, but not the last. So there's another one that is coming up, which will be in that park that will be doing now the vehicles you can drive.
The private vehicles.
Yes, the passenger vehicles, the sedans, SUVs, at a capacity of 150,000 vehicles per year. So now that would be like the hub. Yeah, and that is small. So that is the hub of what all this will be happening.
Yeah.
So that is one route we are taking.
Okay.
But we're also ensuring that we can support local innovations in these spaces. And at Science and Technology, we also run a fund where we support research and development and innovation, especially for localization of parts.
Okay.
So when people come and they've reached somewhere and they want support to go to market, so technology transfer, whatever, so we support them in that area with funding, grant funding, but also have a very good relationship with UDB, which can also give them a very affordable debt financing depending on what stage they are at, to enable that we can realize this. Now, the other thing we're working on is ensuring that we can deal with the standards. Because especially as we do homologation for products, with testing and validation, there needs to be specific standards that you
follow.
To also protect your market from counterfeits.
Yeah.
That come in and they underprice and undercut the good products. So that is one thing I'm also pursuing with UNBS to ensure that we have the right standards in place for the key parts and components that we allow prioritize, such that the play field is leveled.
Okay.
And that is very important.
Well, maybe. Now let's talk about some, this other question. I didn't plan to ask it, but I think, and I was thinking through. Recently, there was a time Tesla was sold by, I think it was in China, one of the clients that actually used this. But of course, the CEO kind of came out to manage the crisis well. Because I understand, like how we've explained, whatever is being done to make sure that we keep this quality the way it is. Yeah. But you never know, sometimes, and due to unforeseen conditions, we are beyond control over some conditions. Have we laid down any possible, because now, since this is not just about Uganda, but also producing for the mass
market.
For the African market. Just in case of any of such unforeseen circumstances, sudden happenings, have we laid down on how we can manage that crisis? Not to, because when this event happened, people had a certain image for Tesla.
Yes.
But of course, Elon Musk had to come out in a proper way to address the masses, to make them have hope. So do we have those strategies just in case to ensure that the name Kiira Motors doesn't sound scary to any person because maybe of something that happened?
Yes. Brand reputation.
Brand reputation, perfect.
Yes. So addressing this issue starts from production, because you have to ensure that the products don't get into such scenarios. Yeah. So
but sometimes it's hard to.
Yeah, of course.
It may be
human
hard.
error.
Yeah.
some things you have not seen. Then also there's what happens with the user, because the user might also not be using the thing properly. Yeah, so anything can happen, but you try to ensure that you mitigate these risks right from design.
From the production.
Not even production, from design.
The design.
Yes, because the design considerations you put in place. I'll give you an example. You've seen these trucks, especially the ones that carry cement and sand.
Exactly.
And you know they have a tonnage. You know, say you shouldn't load it beyond
these
2
tons.
tons.
Yeah.
But then someone will come and load and load and load until it is full.
Yeah.
And they're loading 5 tons. So in your design, you have to put that in consideration because the market you're serving, you have to do proper market research. Understand the market behavior and the user behavior. So that you can have some of these tolerances within the design of the product, given what it's going to be used for and how people would use it. Yeah. Okay. So that comes from the design. Then in the production process, the quality and inspection department or division in the market at Kiira Motors is responsible for that, and they are in every station of the over 120 stations of production. Okay. So every step they're checking and checking and checking, so that the problem is not seen late. Okay. And if it can be corrected, it's corrected there and then. And they go through all the way to the last stage, which is really quality inspection and testing. Okay. Now from there, the warranty kicks in. In case there's any issue, it can be addressed. But also, as the product support division of Kiira Motors is now responsible now for the use side, the product use side. And ensuring that you're supporting. Now the beauty with buses is that typically they're used in a fleet. Yes. Yeah, and you have a client who has like 20 of them or 30 of them. And normally the route is known. A bus they'll not wake up one day and they want to go to the DRC, for example. A route is known. It's easy to support such a product. Because you're dealing with, and the beauty is that most of these bus operators also have their technicians. Okay. So you train the technician on how to troubleshoot and do some corrective maintenance. Then you train the driver on how to drive. So when I was talking about the 140 bus drivers we have trained, it is for that purpose. Wow. Because we know that if they don't understand the product, they'll misuse the product. Okay. Yeah. Because some of these are new technologies, dealing with electronics. Exactly. You're dealing with because the thing about electric vehicles is that once you press the acceleration pedal like this and ask for it to give you torque, it is instant. Instant in terms of... The moment you hit it, it's setting off. It's like... It doesn't start at a slow pace. The moment you ask for what you want, it gives it to you in its full power. That is scary. Yeah? It can be scary, but it helps in some situations. Okay. And it's more efficient as well. Yeah. You're not delaying to first ramp up the engine, do the revolutions. Straight away it gives it to you. So they need to be trained on how do you deal with such a vehicle on a hill, on an incline, how do you deal with it? Yeah. If you're seeing this, because everything is electronic, everything is communicating with itself. Exactly. When you see this alert, what does it mean? What should you do? Yeah. So that also becomes very important as a mitigation measure of you ensuring that the people who you're serving have the right skills and competencies to ensure that they can ensure that this product can serve them well for its entire life. But in the event anything is to happen, we also have a crisis management protocols to see how we can deal with it and deal with it properly. And these are already in place because without it, you're in trouble.
Interesting, very interesting. Time is really catching us up. But let's talk about what policies the government is putting in place to ensure that such initiatives prosper. Yes.
So we put in place what we're calling the National E-Mobility Strategy.
International
the National E-Mobility Strategy. Okay. Yeah, this was put in place in October last year. Okay. This was put in place by an interministerial team comprised of Science, Technology, and Innovation that was coordinating it because we are the coordinators of this space. Yeah. Ministry of Works, Ministry of Energy, NPA, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Local Government, Kampala Capital City Authority, and Metropolitan Affairs. And all these had a role to play to ensure that we have a very thorough strategy in place to guide our interventions in this space. And there are 7 priority areas that we set out to accomplish. And the top on this agenda is local manufacturing.
Local manufacturing
of these products.
Okay.
And electrification of public transport, having a charging network, then the battery localization of the battery itself, human capital development, ensuring that we have high EV electric vehicle uptake, and then standards and policies.
Okay.
So those priority areas are what is guiding our interventions as government.
Okay.
Now, in terms of the incentives we have set in place, because I've also put in place incentives to facilitate especially these priority areas.
Yes.
So we have a 10-year income tax exemption.
Okay.
For companies that are manufacturing electric vehicles in Uganda.
10 years.
10 years. You're not paying an income tax. So whatever money you make, you can reinvest it.
Reinvest back. Okay.
Yeah, so that you can ramp up production. Then we also have exemption of excise duty. We also have exemption of value-added tax for the products that are made here that are electric. So if you were to buy, let's say, one of the electric buses from Kiira Motors, there will be no value-added tax on it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, we also have zero import duty for production materials.
If I'm importing production materials to support
to make the cars and to make the parts, they are import duty exempt.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can go get your, if you like the buses, if you're getting materials,
if I'm supplying tires,
all those tires. First of all, the tires, the materials would be the rubber and what. All these are imported duty free. Then you can make the product. Then when you're selling it, it's VAT free. So it's good times for the consumer.
Wow.
Then we also have, because now when you're charging these vehicles, it can be a business for you. And
charging?
Yeah, you can start a business to charge electric vehicles, just like you have petrol stations.
Yeah, I've seen one charging station here.
Amber House.
It's Amber House?
Yes.
At Kampala Road?
Yes.
Exactly.
That one was set up by the Ministry of Energy. Then there's one at City Oil. So there are a few already being set up.
Yeah.
So if you started that business, you would pay 0% VAT as well for that service.
VAT.
Yeah, for that service.
Amazing.
So we have set up incentives on enhanced production to make it attractive and feasible, but also for uptake of the electric vehicles we are making here, so that they can also be a bit more affordable, so that the transition can happen much more easily. Yeah, so that is the approach we're taking, but also in terms of enhancing production capacity for the country, our target is at least 500,000 vehicles per year production capacity.
500,000?
Yes, by 2040, 500,000
at
least. We can even hit 2 million.
It's
very possible. And the beauty with Uganda is it is very well land linked. The markets we can very easily access. Top South Sudan, DRC, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and then to the rest of Africa.
World.
Yeah.
Very interesting. According to this, since we started this discussion, the only image that I get about this is perfection. A perfect product out there that is actually going to be revolutionary in the tech aspect. Interesting, and that brings us to the end of our discussion. I've been with Alan Muhumuza. He is the team leader of the Mobility Bureau at the Science, Technology and Innovation Secretariat. That is under the office of the President. And like I said, it's been very vital when it comes to shaping Uganda's automotive industry, automotive policy and fostering innovation in the mobility sector. Well, till tomorrow, have yourselves a very wonderful morning and still have a great day and morning.